Dear friend, parental autonomy, parental primacy, the inherent, the natural, the God-given right that you as a parent enjoy and have and should be able to appreciate and experience in an unlimited way is under attack, under so many theories you can imagine. But what's happening right now is a very interesting take. And it's something that I have noticed, and we're seeing it in California, and I wanted to bring it to your attention, and I want you to understand that the LGBTQIA two-spirit plus alphabet controversy applies to something perhaps you've not thought before. Listen carefully. Listen to what I'm telling you. Do not roll your eyes and think, oh, this is another one of those, arguments against, gay or drag queen. Oh, no, stop. But first, before we begin, let me ask you, please, to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and the like. And please note our sponsor, My Patriot Supply, and right now, a deal of deals for you. If you use the link that is provided under preparewithlionel.com, I get excited. Preparewithlionel.com. What was that? Preparewithlionel.com. You get a 3-month emergency food supply kit. Over 2,000 calories a day, 21 varieties of great food, a 25-year shelf life. Tasty breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, treats, you name it, in resealable, heavy-duty, 4-layer pouches with, get this, oxygen absorbers to absorb oxygen. Come on. 120 pounds of food, brilliantly and modularly stacked in these perfect, wonderful, 6 rugged, water-resistant buckets, 120 pounds of food for 3 months, which is exactly what one person in your household needs. This is the minimum. So go to preparewithlionel.com, and see for yourself what I am talking about. Now, friends, let me talk to you about something which is critical. And this is absolutely critical and important for you to understand. There is something that is going on right now in California, and you are going to be seeing it elsewhere. It amends its family code. And basically, it amends and looks at the best interests of the child analysis. This is a standard of care that is seen constantly in all of the legal doctrines regarding family law, dissolution, custody, and the like. And what it does is, it favors a parent who supports gender affirmation for their gender dysphoric child. Now, this is amends, I think, AB or Assembly Bill 957. And it says as follows. Existing law governs the determination of child custody and visitation in contested proceedings and requires the court, for purposes of deciding custody, to determine the best interest of the child based on certain factors, including, among other things, the health, safety, and welfare of the child. The bill that we are talking about proposes, and for purposes of this provision, proposes that it would also include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity as part of the health, safety, and welfare of the child. In making a determination of the best interest of the child in a proceeding described in Section 3021, the court shall, among any other factors it finds relevant and consistent with Section 3020, consider all of the following. And it adds, the health, safety, and welfare of the child. As used in this paragraph, the health, safety, and welfare of the child includes a parent's affirmation of the child's gender agreement, a gender identity, rather. What does this mean? It means that the parents in custody fights, custody battles, will have a very significant and material incentive to support affirmation as a vehicle, as a means, as a demonstration of their worth in securing custody. Let me go a step further. It works something like this. And this is what we have seen years ago, starting to make its way, but now we're seeing it. Your child comes to you one day and says something to the effect of, I think I'm a girl, I think I'm a boy, and this, let's say, obviously for the sake of this argument, is not consistent with that which you believe their gender to be, with their, what you would call their cisgender status or their biological status, whatever you want to call it. Your child then goes to school, talks to a counselor, talks to a nurse, talks to a teacher, talks to somebody from Child Protective Services, and says, you know, my parent won't listen to me. My parent will not entertain or will not pay credence to my desire to be a girl or boy or different sex or whatever. My parent doesn't understand. This will then be interpreted in this new intellectual pipeline. This will be interpreted as a form of abuse, neglect, abandonment. You will then see that as a basis to remove the child from the home, place it with foster care or some appropriate relative, as the court determines whether there should be an intervening jurisdictional addition to this family unit. We used to call it in the old days, when I was a prosecutor, we called it a dependency action. A dependency where the child is dependent on the state for protection, for abuse, neglect, or abandonment. And this will then be construed as a form of maybe perhaps even abuse, but certainly neglect, and abandoning the psychological and spiritual and psycho-affirmative and sexually affirmative aspects of their existence. And all this gobbledygook may sound like nuts to you, but here's the bottom line. Let's say because of your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, your faith, you think it is against the morals of your religion, your faith, your view. As a parent a parent who would normally have to consent to even lice treatment to be applied in the event of a lice outbreak, or who would have to consent to aspirin being administered, or any kind of drugs. One day you're going to see children, hear of children removed and having gender alteration, gender transmogrifying, gender alteration surgery, puberty blocking, hysterectomies, penectomies, orchiectomies, castration. All of this done outside of your consent, in violation of your autonomy, your parental autonomy, your parental primacy. And they will use as a basis or as an analog for this, they will use the cases that came in the past when a child needed surgery and parents who were, let's say, Christian Scientists or who objected because of the particular type of medical treatment being used, how courts would intervene to supersede or to override the particular provisions of that parent. Do you see where we're going with this? Does this make any sense to you? Do you see where we're going with this? This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This is a court coming in based upon your child. And let me also tell you something. I can tell you as a matter of fact, when kids know how to gin the system, when kids know how to work it. How many times have you heard of kids calling the police and telling the police that mom or dad hit me or spanked me or did something in order to get the parents back because kids talk to each other? And in this world that we live in right now, I promise you, you're going to have some child who maybe doesn't even know their favorite color, or might be, for whatever reason, a bit contumacious, a bit obstructionist, a bit problematic, maybe a bit confused, maybe let's say, fraught, not fraught, well, maybe, with psychological or psycho-expressive problems. And this child is going to go to an authority, go to a court, go to somebody. They're going to take your child away from you. And the next thing you know, your kid comes home with this unique suture system. And it's had a mastectomy. And will never be able to have children. Will never be able to be a woman. Will never be able to give you grandchildren. And will suffer down the line, as has been reported, a host of issues dealing with incontinence, sexual sensitivity, sexual whatever. I mean, this is cosmically frightening. This is dystopian. If you think I'm kidding, you must be kidding. Now, this has nothing to do with gay rights. I, and I'm sure you, believe that gay adults should enjoy every single right that a heterosexual or non-gay or non-binary or binary couple, whatever you want to say, for adults. I don't think you should be able to discriminate against kids, but adults, yes. Kids and surgery, not just any surgery. Not just any surgery. You're going to see little by little, bit by bit, kids get tattoos. Kids have items implanted in them at their behest, basically autonomous over their bodies. You're going to see the separation between adults and minors, the notion of minority, completely removed. You're going to see adults marry children. You're going to see the notion of adult and child completely obliterated. This is going to happen. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is not some form of exaggeration. This is real. And watch California. Watch what happens. That's the beginning. Parental primacy, parental autonomy is on the chopping block. That's a terrible use of words in view of what we are talking about. But that is exactly what we're talking about. That is exactly and precisely. This should scare the hell out of you. And if you're not afraid of this, if you can't grasp it, of what it means and what's next, well, whatever you're smoking, I'd like to try some. And I don't even do that stuff. So my friends, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams. And don't forget our sponsor, preparewithlionel.com, $200 off a 3-month emergency supply of food that is absolutely necessary. And now, my dear friend, I ask, beseech, importune, and implore you to comment as you see fit.